Hey everybody, welcome to A Million Little Podcast. This is season 2, episode 7, and this is full disclosure. This is our second try at doing this. That's how hard we are working to bring recaps of ABC's. I don't know, one of their leading dramas. I'm going to say
Skype is hard. Yeah.
Yeah. We're on Skype. We have 2 of the 3 people from this podcast here today. I'm one of them, believe it or not. I'm Kevin. And the other one is over there.
It's me. I'm Jamie. Hi.
It's Jamie, myself and Jamie, and we were going to have Dave along with, but he got a gig. He got a real work thing in Chicago.
Gotta take the gig.
He's at Wrigley Field in November doing a gig.
What?
Yeah, that's not when baseball happens, but that's where Dave is. Dave is kind of a full season sport.
This some Field of Dreams shit.
Mm-hmm. He's serving some ghosts. He's getting ghost drunk at Wrigley Field.
Cool.
Yeah, but Jamie and I are doing this over Skype as I am in the Midwest. I'm doing shows in Minnesota this weekend, and cool. Jamie's holding it down at home. Any big news since I left, Jamie?
I cleaned the bathtub.
Hell yeah, clean the bathtub and do a podcast? Damn.
Yeah.
Get you a girl who can do both.
I watched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back while I cleaned the bathroom. So it's bumping pretty hard over here.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bumping. So this is season 2, episode 7. How you feeling about it, Jamie?
The episode is called 10 Years. I call it The Povich Show. Jon is the father. What?
What indeed?
Skip into the end. Fuck it. What the hell?
Yeah, really. That is, yeah, if you're listening to this now, you might as well. There was other stuff, but yeah.
Was there? I know. It's just like I wasn't even paying attention to that storyline until the very end. It's like, it's like, he might kiss his sister. It's like, yeah, but it's not his sister, so it's fine. And then it ends up he almost did kiss his full sister.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Y'all bugging.
They are bugging, and even though they didn't kiss, Sophie wanted to kiss her brother, and she'll have to deal with that for the rest of her life, unless there's something truly fucked up about the DNA test, which I'm still like, wait a second, is something wrong here? Is there still a misdirect to come? I
know, I'm still like, the hairs on the sweatshirt were from a cat, maybe, but that still doesn't. PJ's a cat? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it feels like it shouldn't be solved yet, but
yeah,
it
does feel that way. I mean, I don't know how DNA tests work. Took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100%
confused.
Jon's kid? I guess that'll be the title of this episode. But could it be like Jon's brother or something? Would that come through? No. I mean, different brothers have different DNA, right? I swear to God, I'm smarter than this seems.
Yeah, I think different brothers have different DNA.
Call in if you know. Thank you.
Except for twins? I don't know about twins.
I don't know about twins either. Maybe Jon's got a twin. That seems like a real season 2 sweeps move. And then you get Ron Livingston back on the show acting.
Yeah, his identical twin fucking shows up. Man.
Yeah, so basically, there were 2 moments when I thought that, okay, maybe this is, maybe, god dang it, they are going to make Jon the dad. When they didn't do the kiss, when he successfully dodged the kiss, I thought that, and then the lengthy pause at the end, I went from being like, okay, let's get this over with. I'm truly done with PJ.
I know, he's sucking up all the Danny time, and I'm finished with it.
I know. PJ. I wrote down PJ and dude with Maggie's brother's heart, get out of here. What I wrote down. I'm done with them. Yeah.
Me too. Same. See, when they didn't kiss, that just made me think more that they're not going to be brother-sister because he was freaking out so hard.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, I mean, this will end up being nothing. He's freaking out because he thinks that's what it is, and it's kind of what he wants it to be. and then it'll end up it's not. Like, it's actually fine. Also, when she goes to kiss him, he yells, "Oh my God, no!" And I got some real good doctor vibes off of that.
Yeah, that did see. He did yell, "Oh my God, no!" like a good doctor promo for sure.
Yeah. I expected him to run out of the room in scrubs.
The trouble is, look, it is fun. I think we can all agree it's fun to do impressions of the good doctor. Right. But we can't do it on this. And when you do impressions of the good doctor, you sound like a problem. But it's doing impressions of the good doctor, the actor and the character, who just be at home, now scream the word no 8 times in a row with the same tone. It's fun, right?
It's fun. That's why they put it on TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
listen, that guy's not a good doctor in real life, so he's doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
My mom loves that show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
But
so that's the big news, guys. That's the headline. Jon is, as far as we know right now, the father. Although I did have the thought, solving problems over here, in the middle of the night, we just switch out PJ for Charlie, and then give Charlie to Eddie and Katherine, and now we got no problems because PJ is Jon's son.
Right.
They're trying to pass Charlie off as Jon's daughter, but she's not. Charlie, hey, look at this. We actually do have one of Jon's kids. So you just plug him in for the baby. And then you give the baby to Eddie and Katherine. It is Eddie's kid. And he's whining about not getting to spend time.
So everyone has a kid who's half theirs now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one's lying about whose kid it is. Look, I know this isn't a real solution, but
there's whining about
it
about
felt right.
Kid stuff, I guess, in this episode.
Yeah, Delilah really wants a kid. Oh boy, we're losing. This Skype thing's going to keep happening.
This sucks.
I know it does suck. Hopefully, this won't happen too much more. Next week we should be able to have a late one where we're here in person. But yeah. It's like, Delilah wants a kid that's actually Jon's. We got one running around. It's PJ. Just take him.
Yeah. Free kid. And he won't leave you all alone.
I know. That was, I guess we can start it closer to the beginning. Like, he just shows up at Rome and Gina's place with coffee. And apparently he just does this all the time. Just shows up unannounced. Like, hey, Rome, I brought you guys coffee and snacks. You cannot do this.
No, he's acting like he's a production assistant for Rome's life. He's acting like he's like Rome's personal assistant. No, dude, you're really, you've crossed the line. I understand it's hard being like, who's my dad, whatever. But honestly, I've had friends who didn't know who their dad was late in life.
And they weren't so thirsty about it.
Yeah, this guy's really thirsty about it. And then when he shows up at the birthday party, I was like, how? Why would this person be invited? And then you find out Sophie invited him, but it's like, she's like, Katherine said I got a +1. It's like, it's not a wedding. It's a kid's birthday party. You're Danny's +1. There's not, I feel like, they're not keeping strict numbers on it like that. I don't think at a kid's party like that.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, Rome did say the theme of this party is awkward tension, which, by the way, that's the theme of every party, I think, as far as and I like parties.
Yeah.
But they all have awkward tension. That's a thing.
They all at least start off with awkward tension, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to be real comfortable with the friends. And even in that case, still, when you walk in, you still got to transition to now you're hanging out with a person and you weren't before, and that's awkward.
Yeah, how do you even do that?
Think about saying hi to your best friend. The first moment, it's awkward.
Yeah. I'm going to have to do that tomorrow. It's going to be weird.
Yeah, your best friend is coming to visit.
Yeah.
Your best high school friend.
Yeah.
But Roman Gina, very nice to PJ, and I wrote down why nice to PJ as a note.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I appreciated that Rome pointed out all the sister weirdness, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's not on board with PJ kissing his sister, and he said so. So that's good. Point for Rome.
Right. Yeah, and then PJ's like, I'm not trying to date her. Yeah, I'm only going on a car ride with her at this party solo right after she got her license. That is date-ass stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Looking for your adult friend's dog together all day is a date, my friend.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, like, you can't stop doing meet cutes and then just classic high school casual dates.
Yeah, y'all were like having ice cream in a car together. Like, I'm sorry, my dude, you are on a date right now.
Yeah.
That's on you, dude. She doesn't know you're related.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the party was, I thought Katherine did a great job of just like every time someone walked in, she was all smiles, and then she would just turn to look at Delilah and just look like she was literally going to murder her. Like it just
yeah, that's good.
It just kept happening. It would be like someone shows up and is just like, hey, I hope it's okay. I brought Julie just because the other kid was invited. And she's like, oh my gosh, no problem. Siblings are always welcome. When she looks straight at Delilah while she says it, like, fuck, Katherine. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Katherine was great. We're getting, and these are wrestling terms, babyface and heel. We're getting, it seems like, and a little bit with the preview going into next week, we're getting a real split with babyface and heel between Katherine and Delilah here. Delilah is the heel. Mm-hmm. She's just turning more selfish and like blameless and
literally,
and obstinate.
Yeah, because it's like obviously she's not a fan of Katherine's, or they're not a fan of each other right now, but like Delilah, literally everyone who cares about you in your life is telling you to just fucking come clean with your little secret, and she's like, no, and has no good reason, and is just making everybody's lives hell. It's like, bud, it's like, you know how you wanted to, and I mean, Katherine basically says this, but you wanted to make up for the fact that you kind of ruined everyone's lives with boning your friend outside your marriage. It's like, I mean, this is kind of it. Like, this is that consequence that you were looking for when you actually felt bad about it. Like, this is it, man. You blew everyone else's families up, and now you're going to have to explode yours a little bit, because otherwise it'll explode later and it'll be worse. You dummy.
Yeah, this is quite literally the dealing with the consequences part.
Yeah.
This like you have gotten forgiveness. These people have decided to live with you and decided to go, and you're not being ostracized. People are working with you. That's fine. This part, the telling the truth about it, that's the consequence part of you cheating a bunch of times for a long time with Eddie and then having that baby. Yeah. This is the consequence, is that maybe you're going to have an uncomfortable talk. Yeah. Sorry.
And it sucks, but it's also like, I mean, all things considered, everybody is still friends with you, and you have a baby that everyone's cool with. Like, you did pretty good, Delilah. It's like it's not like your kids will never ever forgive you. They will. Come on, like Danny's gonna never forgive you. He'll be mad, sure. He'll come around. Maybe Sophie will never forgive you, but it's like you have to do it. Also, it's hilarious that when she's trying to give excuses about why, at least right now, she can't tell the kids, is because they just couldn't possibly take any more because they have so much going on. And the specific things are that Sophie's trying to get her driver's license and Danny's in the play. It's like, those are both good things.
They're both good things. They're both good basic ass things. These are basic bitch things to have going on in a good way.
It's not like one of them's dying. It's not like one of them's dealing with something tragic. It's just they're being teenagers. That's it.
Yeah. She says, she's clearly getting outnumbered. Everyone is coming around to like, we should probably say what the actual deal here is at some point, because we're all moving forward with this, and all the adults know whatever. And Delilah's just, she's freaking out. She's outnumbered. and she's not willing to. And it sort of tracks with her personality, really, in that like she thinks she can do whatever she wants, and no one gets, like
right.
There's no consequences for it.
Yeah, she usually gets away with a lot of stuff, and this was specifically all the people that had promised or had said that they thought they should keep the secret, like changing their mind on her. It's like she was talking to Gina at the beginning, and Gina's like, "Oh yes, I see how this could upset your family." And then Gina talks to Katherine and is like, "Oh right, she should tell the kids."
Right.
After she sees the other perspective for 5 minutes, she's like, "Oh right, yes, it would further tear people apart to keep this secret forever." And then tells her friend that, and Delilah's like, "You can't, no." And then Eddie changes his mind for the same reasons, and she's like, "You can't, no take backs." No.
Right, I was just gonna say basically her whole philosophy is no take backsies, and that's it. And that is, which I don't know how to say that in French, but that's her concept here.
Yeah.
And Katherine says,
take backs.
No take backs. That's me, Italian.
Let's take it back.
But she says the two of you agreed. I had no. Katherine says to Delilah, she's like, the two of you agreed. I had no say. Much like she had no say in Delilah fucking her husband too. So it's like, she gets to kind of on this.
Yeah, it's yes, it's ridiculous. Now oops, did we lose you? Are you there? Skype? Hello?
Yep.
All right,
Go
good.
ahead.
Yeah, she does, Delilah does get one line in at the end when she's just being mad at everyone. She tells Eddie, she's like, "You're the reason she has to lie, not me," because, Eddie had an affair with her, so he's the original problem. And it's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, that's almost an argument, but also you were there too, so it's both.
Wait, what's the lie? So wait, Delilah says that Eddie's the reason she has to lie?
Yeah, because Katherine's yelling at her, so she deflects and is basically like, she says a bunch of other stuff too at the very end when she's like, "No, I'm not going to do it. You guys are mean." And she's like, Eddie's the reason that you had to lie to Theo, not me. Yeah.
What's the logic there?
In that your husband cheated on you and that's why you have to lie. It's not me making the decision now. He did the original thing, which is like, you were there too, bitch.
That's absurd. It's like, well, what is fine? So Katherine's allowed to tell Theo, but then what? Delilah's going to tell Theo, you can't snitch. Don't that's absurd.
I know. It was like it was a burn that for a second I was like, "Ooh, shit, true." I'm like, wait, no, that's nothing.
No,
damn it,
Delilah and Jon turns out pretty good match because they're both fuck boys. I think apparently,
turns out
if PJ is Jon's kid, Jon's a fuck boy, and Delilah's clearly a fuck boy. Yeah,
it's a lot of that going around. Skipped a generation with Danny.
Yeah, Danny. By the way, Danny does make a brief appearance in this episode. He has when Sophie she takes a driver's test, she nails it. She gets to drive off, and then she says, Danny is part of presenting the birthday surprise to her, that she gets a car, and Danny also. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Danny also.
He has basically they say they wish Jon was there, and Danny has the dad's driver's license, and I just want. I feel like Danny needs to take the dad's driver's license and get beer. And he was carrying something that looked like it was like a case of Bud Light later, but it was actually just a gift that was a case shaped like a case of beer, and it was blue. But yeah.
I mean, maybe it was beer. Maybe Danny has a drinking problem. Maybe that'll come up later.
Yeah, I hope so. Danny can handle it. That's
Oh, I would watch the hell out of a really dramatic Danny scene where he tells everyone he's an alcoholic. Shit.
Yeah, get dark.
Mm-hmm. Might as well. Yeah, I had a lot of questions about this friggin' car present. So, Jon bought this car, and I don't know anything about cars. It looks like it's a good one. I have no idea. It's sporty. It's small. Yeah. It has, 2.5 seats, which usually means it's a good car. Bought it the year...
Pricey, it's sporty.
Yeah. Bought it the year that Sophie was born and wanted to give it to her when she was 16. That is bonkers. This car has not been at their house. Where the frick has this car been sitting for 16 years?
So has it not been at the house?
I don't think so. Or was it just there and they put it... I mean, she sees the car. She walks in and sees the car and it's like... Unless he's been driving it around and was just like... She gets it on her birthday. I thought that it wasn't there. Oh, was it there the whole time?
I mean, no, they were not clear about this, but my assumption was that it's maybe it's one of the cars that's been there, and then they just, I don't know, wrapped it or something, like put a bow on it, and was like, now this is yours. I don't know.
Well, that would make a lot more sense. Because in my head, I was like, he bought this car and then put it in a garage for 16 years. Yeah, that's probably pretty dumb. I was thinking it was dumb. And then I was like, didn't they have some serious money problems really recently? Wouldn't that have been a good time to sell whatever kind of hella expensive car this is that's in probably mint condition that's been sitting around? Yeah, is there a Danny car in a garage somewhere? What's happening?
Yeah. Right, because this car would have been bought in 2003. So this car is because if she turned 16 now. How old's Danny? Was he 11?
He just turned... Well, no, he turned 13 in real life. He's 12 or 13 in the show. I forget now.
Yeah. Either way, it's a lot of years to just have cars hanging around. But, so...
Yep. Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you have any other driving stuff there?
No. I mean, let's see. Yeah, Sophie crashes the car when she almost... kisses her brother and freaks out. That was believable. She tries to drive away, which also it's like, I mean, the guy's still in the car. You're not going to get away from him. And then just crashes. That is a horrible, embarrassing thing to happen, to get stiff-armed on a kiss and then also crash your car immediately.
Oh yeah, it's a classic hellish day. She's gonna win a moth storytelling thing by being tell this story later, and it's I mean, don't crash things, but otherwise I don't blame her, really. She's been hoodwinked and bamboozled into all this.
Yes. Oh yeah, just regarding PJ at the beginning. I mean, Delilah, to her credit, I guess, seems a little bit suspicious of PJ at first, but then which she should, but then she tells PJ, "Oh, Gary loves you and he hates everybody." Delilah, goddammit, no he does not. Gary is the best person out of all of you people. What? Delilah is the wiener this week. Fish.
Delilah's getting progressively weenery. Eddie's getting better. Eddie is being less weenery. Delilah's taking over the wiener. The top to bottom good people are Gary and Katherine, really. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Gary. I think they say Gary hates everybody because he's the one who's funny sometimes, and they just think jokes means you hate people, or Gary's sarcastic. I guess.
I was just gonna say that. I feel like when people who don't understand what being funny is, will lump in we'll say oh, I'm sarcastic, I'm funny.
Yeah.
Or you're really sarcastic. It's like, I'm not even.
Right.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway. That's pretty much it for that. That wraps up that big situation. We start off the show with Theo quizzing state capitals. I did not know the capital of Louisiana. Fucked that up. And then and then he asks Texas. They say Austin, and then they give a little, sexy wink to each other because of Austin.
#sex. Yeah.
And then he does Arizona, and Katherine fucks up and says, I've never been there. He's like, yes, you have, because of the Grand Canyon. So obviously that's when Katherine realizes, like, my weird smart kid is going to definitely figure this out. We're going to have to just go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off. And
yeah,
literally...
He's just going to do DNA tests for fun, like on all his friends somehow. Yeah. He'll figure it out.
Which is the other thing with Delilah. It's just like, I mean, yeah, that kid, you think Theo's not going to figure this shit out? Like, it's a ticking time bomb. You got to get to it. And then Theo's questioning that stuff and making Katherine uncomfortable. And then literally Eddie just sprays a bunch of whipped cream in his mouth to shut him up. Like, yeah, that's that solution's only going to work for so long. And then he was just giggling.
For the next 5 or 6 years, and then that's it.
And then that's it. End of college graduation, tops. And then he's just like giggling with a mouthful of whipped cream for a little bit, which did make me slightly uncomfortable. But I get it. Whipped cream is great.
Sure. Yep.
So it's Theo's 10th birthday. So the whole thing is Theo's turning 10. It's also the 10-year anniversary of Eddie getting sober because he got sober for Theo. Eddie talks about how Theo saved his life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, his rock bottom.
Basically, because he showed up, he missed it, and then he did the reenactment. Basically, they did the flashback to the day of the birth, and when he walked in, it's like he was apologizing to Katherine, but didn't even like notice the baby for a while.
Yeah, he's just like talking to Katherine and like trying to get up on the bed, and she's like literally like moving the baby away, and just Eddie is not picking up on any of the social cues she is giving him to fucking back up a little bit.
No.
But yeah, so they're
yeah, but he just it honestly is like if I did something crazy and drunk and bad and we had a dog and then I just like went in and apologized to you but didn't really acknowledge the dog. That was how he did it. Like he just like walked in and he was talking to her and then like halfway through his apology he's like, "Oh, my first baby is here." Basically, like he didn't even like notice it until he was done with the apology. But yeah.
Yeah, you still drunk, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's and and in this episode, Eddie fucks. End of the episode, he and Katherine go into the same room together because she's got to watch him tell Delilah to get her shit together. So she was obviously pretty turned on by that.
Ladies, email us at, you can find us at a Million Low Podcast on Instagram. You can DM us there. Follow us at a Million Low Podcast on Instagram, at a Million Podcast on Twitter, and millionlowpodcast@gmail.com. Is it a turn on when your husband tells off the woman he cheated on you with in front of you? Is that a good turn on?
Yes.
So he did that, and also he played music with Sophie for his kid's birthday. Mm-hmm. That's a classic turn on for sure.
Yep, you got a friend in me.
You could tell Eddie was going to be decent this episode because he did the VO in the recap, so you thought it was going to be a decent Eddie. He was the character who got the voiceover at the beginning.
Right. Yep, that makes sense. And it was very cute. I mean, I don't have anything else really with Gina. I thought Gina had a very good, like, she didn't have a lot to do this episode, but I thought she did a good job showing up with the baby, then revealing the baby and looking like, did I fuck up? And then, when Katherine's like, oh, yeah, hey, come on in. She's like, oh, shit, all right. Like,
yeah.
Cool.
Everyone just brings me this baby now.
Yeah, she was. It was like it was when.
And I feel like she kind of put PJ in his place at some.
Oh yeah, she put PJ in his place and realized, and this is when she realized Katherine is actually okay with the actual baby, not the situation, but with the actual baby. And then when Katherine's like, "Hey, I bought this baby dress for the baby," and her reaction is just like, "Who are you?" I was like, "That's good.
Yeah.
That's that's just good and funny." Gina had a brief but good episode, I thought.
Yeah, and everyone just kept showing up at that house like it was Muppet Family Christmas. Like it just the doorbell kept, and then it was just everyone else, just one after another popping in.
That was the coming together this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I guess the only other thing left is the whole Maggie-Gary situation, which, this episode, it is almost as if Eric has been Thanos'd out of existence. The losing the dog still happened, but they were much more just regular Maggie and Gary this episode, where Maggie's just like, I'm sorry, I did something that hurt you, and he's just like, it's okay. It's like, oh, all right. That's fine. We can just forget all that other stuff. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if Heart Guy's gone, cool. First of all, I saw that the dog's name was Wesley at the beginning, and I was like, come on. All right, that made me think that Gary should keep it. And then...
you named your dog stupid. Get out of here.
Yeah, but then Gary decides to spy on Wesley's real owner and kind of judge and see if this is the kind of person who should get the dog back. And then, of course, I do appreciate how thickly they laid it on. Like, she's newly widowed, and she has dog food out, and he's like, oh, so you have a dog and everything's cool. And she's like, nope, I'm just hoping that dog comes back. My husband, Bennett, who's dead, has just really loved him so much. I wrote, okay, fuck, come on, all in caps. But
come on, Enid.
But I thought that was good. That they were like, all right, so it really makes it clear that, Gary should give that, give that back.
And he knows it, but he's still struggling with it, which is very believable. Yes.
And when he was riffing at the door and said that he does some survey or whatever, he's going around town, and then, whatever, he knows it by memory, the Enid said, that's very impressive. And Gary said, thank you. And I thought that was a funny exchange. But
yeah, that was good. Otherwise, she definitely should have called the cops. I was like, if you put dramatic music behind that, you'd be sitting there like, no, oh my God, close the door. He's going to kill you. It's like, it was very not, it's like anybody would be like, you are clearly a creep. You are going to rob me. Get the frig out of here. And then she's like, obviously tells him her sob story. It's like, don't you want to finish the survey? He's like, I got all the answers I needed. All right, Gary, get out of here. You've dropped the character of man taking a survey. You need to go. Yeah,
you've lost it. Get out.
And then he says, oh, go ahead.
And then, basically he does. And then he goes back, and he's still sort of waffling over what to do with the dog, but then he basically knows he's got to bring the dog back. He's in the park with Colin at some point, and Colin responds to Wesley instead of Colin, which is weird. Like, he wouldn't respond to Colin. He's responded to Colin, right?
I know. It's like they made it seem like the dog knows. It's like the dog knows that he needs to be returned. Because he just starts, sauntering away from Gary like he's just gonna, he's got to get back to work. It's like, where you going, dog? And then, he calls after him. He calls him Wesley. He turns around. They set it up very well where it's like, obviously you got to give this dog back, and he's ready to do it. And then Maggie wants to do him the favor of taking the dog back for him so he doesn't have to say goodbye at the door.
Yeah.
And
that comes about after Maggie fails her driver's test. Apparently Maggie's never really driven. She fails her driver's test, or she doesn't fail it. She has an anxiety attack and then doesn't take it. Mm-hmm. And Sophie takes it and passes it, which is, adds to the embarrassment there. And then when Gary's dealing with all this, she decides to go actually take the test and passes it. So she's like, I can drive the dog back.
Yes. It's good. She's going out of her way. She's trying to make it up. She goes, and Gary has a last heart-to-heart with the dog, and then absolutely sobs when they leave, which that checks out for me. Although I was just like, did he cry like that for Jon? I don't think so.
Yeah, but I also get that because it's more of like the Jon thing's more of a shock, and this is that's hard.
True.
Hard to even know how to gauge it. Whereas this, like, you're feeling every bit of it all the way.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't mad at it. I was just trying. Yeah. I was literally just trying to remember because I was like, "Shit, he is crying."
Yeah. So Maggie tries to be cool here, and takes the dog back, and then gives basically, and then Gary meets up and wants to be there when they give Colin back. They do that, and then she's like, Gary, get in the car. We got to, basically it's like a heist movie now. And she's like, we got to get out of here.
Hustling him away. He's like, oh, Colin was being weird when I was walking him up. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, yeah, dude, that's because that wasn't Colin. That was the decoy dog from the shelter who I put Sharpie on.
The other twin twist, that is...
oh my God, identical twin dogs.
Yep, identical twin dogs. They did it. And it's like, at first I felt kind of weird about it, but also I was like, you know what? They did set this up fairly well with the identical dog an episode or two ago. Mm-hmm. And as Maggie puts it, we gave an old lady a dog, a stray dog from a shelter that she's going to love? That's a good thing.
Yes.
And it is.
And so as far as the old lady knows, like, it's not like they've, she would be like, oh man, these people tricked me and kept my dog. She just thinks this survey guy found a dog, thought it was hers, and gave it back. So, perfect crime.
Yeah. Perfect crime. Works out. So yeah, I think I'm overall thumbs up on that. So good job, Maggie. Good job, everyone.
I was surprised how fine I was with it.
Yeah, when she did offer to take Colin back and give him back to Enid, I did think, oh great, she's going to drive and she's going to lose Colin on the way to Enid's, and now they're going to have a third person who's going to own the dog.
I know when she was taking the leash, I was like, oh, this is how we got in trouble in the first place. What are we doing here?
Yeah, this will be fine unless she gets a text or something, and then she will lose the dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
She does it. She does a small crime, and it's fine.
Yep. Small crime. No big deal as far as the show goes. All right. I think that's it. Right? Anything else?
That's all the stuff. Should
cool.
be fun next week when everybody finds out who everybody's dad is.
Yeah, if that's true, which we see. Yeah, and it's also like they sneak in a little bit in the preview next week. It's like, also it's a funeral. Like someone's dead. Right. So cool. Someone's dead and someone's a dad. Dead and dad. Dads and dads is next week.
It's probably fucking Enid. I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, God, it could be.
Oops, Gary's got 2 dogs now.
Gary's the dogs are multiplying. And hundreds of pounds of dogs.
Playing twin pranks.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it. Anything else, Jamie?
No, that's all there is to it. Pretty simple episode.
Cool. Follow us at A Million Low Podcast on Instagram, at A Million Podcast on Twitter, and we're at amillionlowpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, everybody. And next week will be more live and less laggy Skypey. But thanks for listening anyway. And we'll catch you next week.
Laggy Skypey, million little bye.